I have with me Ben Kissle. Now, he's been a requested guest for a while.
Really?
You have.
No
Ben,
kidding.
Absolutely. I have a
isn't
couple
that
of guys
something?
in New York that he's one of my closest friends, and he goes, you know, Ben, you remember the guy came out when I saw, first of all, everybody, Ben Kissle was one of the founders of the last podcast on the left. What are the name of the
Last Podcast Network, Abling and Stop at Last Podcast on the Left, things of that nature. Yes.
Well, he had like 4 of them, didn't you?
Yeah, many shows. Yeah.
There was a riff. He can't get too much into it. There was when you have 3 partners, things happen.
Yeah, whatever. Well, I can't really get into that, but right now I'm just chilling, looking forward to the future, hanging out with my folks right now. My mom fell and hurt her arm, so I've been able to help her out.
Thank God she didn't break her hip.
Oh yeah, I'd have to put her down. You gotta put her down. That's it. It's over, Mama. And she would say, "Thank you, Benjamin." And she'd be so
Did she call you
happy.
Benjamin?
Oh, of course.
She'd be so happy.
Of course. So anyway, long story short, a lot of folks know all those things I can't talk about, but they kind of know what's going on. I'll talk about all that stuff at a later date when I can really unload my feelings and thoughts. But I did do recently a month at Passages in Ventura.
Did you need it?
Well, it is good to get right with alcohol. That's been something I've been drinking since I was 12 years old. We started doing foster care when I was 12 years old, emergency foster care. So we took in probably 50 kids, and I would go to sleep at 9:30 at night, and there'd be a kid in there at 11 p.m. We would have to take care of him until 5 a.m. until they were able to find him a place. As soon as the cops would go in, do whatever they got to do.
Arrest the parents.
Their children are there. They call my house, and we have a new child over there. So it was a lot of stress, and then there was just a lot of different difficulties growing up. At 12, I was like 6'5", so I was kind of like I was like Blaster, but my brain wasn't the master. So I was just a big
Blaster?
shy kid. Master Blaster, come on, you gotta know this.
It's your era, bud.
My era. I'm a
your
lot
era.
older than Ben.
Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. Master Blaster, I'm going to go, is Tina Turner. Tina Turner. There's a battle dome. Mad Max.
Okay, I know Mad
Look at
Max.
me. But
I know
people
Mad
can't see,
Max.
but they can see me. I was a different kid. I was a criminal, Ben.
What? No, that has nothing to do with it. Criminals love Mad Max. That's what the entire premise of the movie
Mad Max,
is.
you're talking about with, what's his name,
Yeah,
the actor?
Sand Desert.
Mel Gibson.
Mad Max. Mel Gibson.
Yes. Anyway, long story short. So anyway, I just started drinking real young. And so Passages, it was good to just kind of reassess my relationship with alcohol and kind of figure out, what I wanted to do with my life going forward. I also want to clarify, I was not at Passages Malibu. I've heard a lot of people talk about Passages Malibu. Passages Malibu is very fancy. They have horses, equestrian. It's where Ann Romney would go and hang out. She loves her horses, milking them, jerking them, whatever you want to do with the horses. I don't care. I was at Passages Ventura. Passages Ventura. And unlike Ace, there are no animals. It is much less pleasant than Passages Malibu.
Was that the first rehab you ever went to?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Not of course.
Not of course.
Whatever.
People go,
If you
and
go to rehab.
they
It's all good. There's no
Yeah.
shame there.
Absolutely.
I met some of the most amazing people, all walks of life. I won't get into their stories, but inspirational stuff. Long story longer here. About 2 weeks into my stay at Passages, I had a phone call, and after that phone call, I knew that my future was going to be changed, both professionally and personally, for the forever, basically. And if I wasn't at Passages, it would have been just much, much more difficult. There was a lot of dark moments that I had at Passages. I felt like, just a kid. Like, you ever see Freddy versus Jason?
Yes.
That
I have seen.
Fantastic. That's your generation. There's a great scene where Freddy is beating Jason, right? He finds out Jason doesn't like water because he was drowned in it. And so there's a scene where Jason becomes a baby, and Freddy puts his knife right into his frickin' temple, And that's what it was like at Passages during those moments. I was just an infant again, and I was just feeling like just absolutely horrible. And there were some really, really dark moments. There was a mirror, as a matter of fact, on the table that was when in my room there was a mirror, and I remember it was the strangest thing. I remember feeling peace, but the reason I felt peace was I realized I could just break off a piece of that mirror and just slice my wrist, and this could all be over. So it was real frickin' dark. And then I stayed. I didn't do that, obviously. I didn't go vertical with the wrist. And then the next day, I'm so happy that I stayed at Passages, because the next day, the teacher there, the counselor, she just fucking crushed it in class. And, I just felt a renewal of sorts, and I just realized I got to get going here because, life has to keep on moving forward, and I got to keep on doing my best.
Ben, I love what you just talked about. And I don't mean that in a bad way, of course. In what you did to change it. First, we got to let everybody know, Ben is sitting in my RV. We're in the mobile studio. He's 6'7", 350 pounds.
345 pounds. Can you give me the 5?
You got it. I'll give you 10. 340.
Oh, wow, nice.
I'm sitting here at 5'9", 250. And Nick is sitting here at 5'7", 150. So we got a big disparity. No, I just want to let people know. Ben, your heart is bigger than you. That's number one, I want to say.
That's a medical issue.
No, your heart, and you know that. Here's what I think happened to you, and as a guy who counsels and a guy who speaks about this stuff around the world, is everybody, like me in prison, I hit a bottom. Everybody hits that bottom when they want to change truly. You can't tell a person, hey,
and this is not a sexual thing.
No.
Okay.
That's later. That's later.
Oh, right.
A bottom, people don't get it.
Yeah.
People say to me, how do you get such a high success rate with young people and helping them? I says, because, listen, everybody has the bottom. Until they hit their bottom, they're not going to change. And
right.
People go, what do you mean? I go, listen, nobody knows their bottom. Nobody can, because if I knew this person's bottom, I'd bring them to the bottom and bring them back up.
I mean, a basketball doesn't bounce in midair, right? It's got to hit the ground.
Here's what I meant by bottom. One person could go home driving, had too many drinks, swerve and almost hit somebody, get home, be shaken, and never drink again. Mm-hmm. That's a bottom. Another person driving, gets stopped, spends a night in the county jail. Oh, my God. The bottom.
Right.
Larry gets arrested, goes to prison, still didn't hit his bottom. I hit my bottom when I was in the hole for almost a year straight. Right. I was in the hole for 3 years, and my friend killed himself. And he told me he was going to do it, and he did it right there, and I couldn't stop him, and it's a bottom. Now, from there comes what you said. It's like a piece, or what you did with that lady, that teacher, or what happened to you the night before, with everything. And you know something, Ben? You're going to look at something. You're a young guy. Everybody's young on my show, but to me,
that's kind of what I was thinking when I was, contemplating. And I've suicidal ideation. I've thought about it quite a bit in my life, and I'm 42, and so I was thinking, well, I'm old. If you're young, they think I'm old. If you're old, you think I'm young. It's a good time. Everyone will be happy.
Ben, truthfully, I was in prison from 34 years old to 46. The best years of my life. I mean, most people's life, financially, work-wise, professionally. Sexually, everything. That's the best years of your life. I mean, brains, whatever you're doing. But I often tell people, yes, but I got out of prison, started over, and you could do it. I look at you, and you're going to be way better off this happened now. And you're going to be better off if it didn't wait until some other things happen. And me too. When it happened to me, I could have went on and on, and then I did something wrong, and I would have never got out. Right. Or whatever. You now ran into your problem. And listen, professionally, people have problems. I love that you don't hate people.
No, I mean, there's no reason to, because you just get internalized.
But don't get screwed, and you're not. You got
right. Well, I mean, that's the difficult thing, especially in entertainment and Hollywood. A lot of people think somebody's failure is going to lead to their success, and it really doesn't work that way. All boats rise, but if one sinks, it doesn't mean one's going up. And I think that's one of the really sad things when it comes to watching people fall and enjoy the demise. That doesn't mean that you're about to get lucky and take fill that void. That they're going to leave. It's just going to be a void. And it's really sad. And so that's why I try. And it's a work. You have to work. at maintaining love and maintaining compassion and meeting people where they're at. And that's one thing, again, that I mentioned on my Instagram, Ben Kissle 1. The whole situation made me a lot more compassionate. I am already very compassionate, but when I go to, if I'm talking to someone at a restaurant or a bar or whoever it is, wherever it is, these life experiences are just going to help me be able to relate to them better and help them out as much as I can in the future. And that's the whole freaking point. So
you make a great point, because I try to tell young people, at 20, you think you know it all.
Right.
You go back at 30 and you go, wow, I didn't know shit at 20.
Right.
When you hit 40, you look back and say, man, I didn't know shit at 30.
But now I feel like it's the reverse. Now I'm like, I don't know shit at all. Because
and you don't.
I'm smart enough to know I don't know anything.
You know, there's old saying, you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. The unknown knowns, as the war criminal Donald Rumsfeld mentioned, which we can talk about. we can talk about the looming World War III if you want to in a bit.
We're going to have fun today. First, but I want to get the audience to know a little bit about Ben Kissle. And first of all, everybody, Ben Kissle's information will be on all my platforms underneath the descriptions, his Instagram. He was, like I said, a founder. In fact, I listened to him. I started. If you like that clip, check out the full podcast or other clips on my channel, and thanks for your support.